about many times before, I do have priorities over top of riding my motorcycle and filming these videos. So family duties and work took precedent. So but anyway, today we're out cruising around. We're actually just cruising a little back road here, a little twisty, that runs between the town I currently live in and the town that I'm from. So it's just kind of a nice, relaxing little ride that goes between the two. It's about an hour to hour and a half, depending on if you run into any traffic at any point, things like that. But it's Highway 231 that runs through Kentucky, but it's just fun, relaxing. Get to go visit some family, so I'm gonna hang out and go do a comfortable little ride here. But today, I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna talk about top 5 reasons to get a motorcycle in general. A lot of people seem to like the top 5s or the list. I'm gonna go ahead and do another one just for lack, to be honest, of a better concept. Before I jump into the list, though, I do want to mention, I know it's been several weeks now, but of course there was a major hurricane that hit our coast. There's still tons of people that still need assistance. One of the best places to provide assistance or to get assistance to them through would be the Red Cross. If you watch NFL on Sundays, you'll notice that they typically give like a number you can text to make a donation. You can also just go to the Red Cross website. There's ways it gives you information on how to donate there or even volunteer. Donations, of course, are always awesome because it helps them provide things. Volunteering is even more awesome in some cases because they get down there and they're doing a lot of work and a lot of things, and people have to be in and out. People can't always just stay for months at a time, and it takes sometimes months to help people get back on their feet. So if you would take the time, check out Red Cross, or if you see that number come across during an NFL game that you watch or something like that, go ahead and give them a little donation. Let's help those folks out that got devastated by the hurricanes. So anyway, again, when I do these lists, I don't do them in any particular order of importance. I just kind of give them as they pop into my head. I think reason number 1 to get a motorcycle, to be perfectly honest, is because it is a motorcycle. If you've ever had any interest in two wheels at all, if as a kid maybe you had a little dirt bike and you thought it was fun, but as you grew up you just never ventured into the street bikes, take the time to find something you like and get back out on two wheels and ride them. The freedom is amazing. Reason number 2, I would say, is going to be actually what I just mentioned, the freedom. People who don't ride, and I just got hit by a big ass bug. People who don't ride kind of don't understand that. Why does it feel so much more free when you're on a bike? Well, I gotta be honest, I don't really have a definite answer for that, but I just know that to me, I feel so much more free, so much more relaxed when I'm on a motorcycle. Now you do have the nerves and the issues of paying attention at a higher level to the people around you, trying to make sure you don't get hit or somebody cuts into your lane, things like that. But to me, it's just more relaxing than being in a vehicle. You got the air blowing against your body, or the wind, I guess I should say. You're kind of out in the open, and especially when you get out on a road like this. I mean, they just redid this road, as you can tell. It's fresh blacktop, or at least this section of it, and it's nice and smooth now. It's just comfortable to ride on. Most people take the interstates, so you don't run into nearly as much traffic when you take roads like this now, and you can really just get out and enjoy yourself. Reason number 3 may seem kind of trivial, but to me it's actually the fuel mileage side of it. I love the fact that I basically fill my tank up about once every 2 weeks. Now that's if I don't make a ride like this. I mean, today I'll fill up before I left. I'll fill up again before I leave and head back home. So But on a typical week, when I'm just riding back and forth to work, say it's a really good week where we don't have a bunch of rain or have any rain days, then I fill up about once every 2 weeks. And to me, that's awesome. And it only takes me about $8. So you take $8 every 2 weeks and compare that to doing, you know, $30 once, sometimes twice a week, depending on what you drive. Well, you can see the difference and why I'm saying what I'm saying. Let's see, so that was number 3. Let's jump into number 4. What do I want to throw out there as number 4? I don't want to... Number 4 would actually be the community. What I mean by that is there's a huge motorcycle community. Now, you do run in on the occasion where you have, lack of a better term, bike snobs. What I mean by that is you got some guys that are, it's not a Harley, and then you got some guys that are, it's not a sport bike. But what we really should be doing is going, dude, super cool, you're on 2 wheels, I love it, keep riding, be safe. That's really what we ought to be doing. But it is what it is. It's human nature to be, unfortunately, judgmental, and that's what happens. But I mean, between social media outlets and just getting out and going to different events at your local motorcycle shops. So what I mean is, as example, today I'm not going because I'm going to visit family. I had something more important. But the local Harley dealer where I'm at is having an event today. And I don't ride a Harley, but it's all bikes welcome. You don't have to be on a Harley to show up. And they're going to do a ride to an orchard that's here in the area. You know, and of course there'll be, you know, there's a registration and a fee, but that money goes to charities, is what they typically do, or to somebody in need. And to me, that's just awesome. But there's all kinds of ways to meet other motorcyclists and just be able to get out and go ride and have a good time. I typically record when I'm by myself. I don't know, I know a lot of people are really into using the Cenas and having at least 2 people where they talk back and forth, and I think that would be cool. I haven't done it yet. I don't have a Cena. That's part of the reason I haven't done it, but you know, I can see the appeal to that. I watch several different channels that do that. One I really enjoy, you know, just a shameless plug I guess here, but is Stevie Foe, and it's Stevie, S-T-E-V-Y, I'm sorry, E-Y-F-A-U-X. But basically it's him and his wife. He rides a Harley, she rides a Honda Fury. They're connected on Cenas, and they just do different rides together, go different places. One of their more recent ones, they were up in the Black Hills, South Dakota, of course, which is where you're going to find Mount Rushmore and a whole lot more cool stuff as far as roads to go ride on. So definitely recommend to check them out. But I can see where that would be cool. I'd love to maybe do some stuff like that. My wife has shown some interest in possibly learning to ride, so who knows? Maybe we'll be in the spot someday to get another bike, and we'll do that. So that was 4. Number 5. To be perfectly honest, I guess really I just don't have a 5. Number 5 really to me would just be everything about it all rolled into one. Just the pure enjoyment that you can get from being out on a motorcycle. I mean, there's again, once you get out on the road and you get comfortable, and you never get overly comfortable. If you get overly comfortable, most people will tell you if you get overly comfortable, that's when you're more likely to end up in some kind of accident or not notice somebody getting ready to cut you off. That's a hell of a bump. Anyway, getting ready to cut you off and maybe something happens. But when you get comfortable enough that you can ride along and you're paying at a higher heightened sense of attention, but you're just not riding scared. The nerves have gone out of your stomach a little bit. You're not breathing super heavy just because you're nervous and worried about something happening. Once you get to that point where you know you're paying attention, but you're just not too overly comfortable, it's just one of the most enjoyable experiences I've ever had. And that would have to be my number 5. It's just the pure the appeal of a motorcycle, for some, it's, much as I hate to say it, for some, it's being able to get there and act a fool. You know, they get out on the roads and they want to try to make sure they're running 100 mile an hour all the time and doing wheelies down the streets and going down interstates on their rear wheel running 55 mile an hour and even higher sometimes. And, you know, I get the appeal of that. It's cool to watch. It's, I'm sure on an adrenaline level, it's fun to do. But man, it is so unsafe and so ridiculous to do. I mean, you're just asking to wreck your bike, have problems with cops, things of that nature. You know, I mean, I don't know. If I could do one thing and change something about the community, it would be that everybody just realized, do that stuff in a controlled area. You know, I mean, there's tons of businesses and warehouses and things almost everywhere. And if you take the time to politely ask them, hey, if we're here after hours or when we're not going to be bothering people, you know, is it okay if we ride here? A lot of them will say yes. Quite a few, as a matter of fact, will say yes. Now, some of them will have you do some paperwork saying that, you know, somebody splatters themselves in their parking lot, they're not going to be held accountable. They were unaware or whatever. You assume the risk, but still, the goal you're wanting is a safe, flat place, smooth to go ride and stunt. Go find one, man, and use it. And then if you get harassed about it, then you're like, hey, look, man, I talked to these folks, we came to an agreement, they know we're here, there's no problem with it. But be respectful too. If it's a cop or even somebody who works there that's telling you to leave, you know, go ahead and do the smart thing. Say, hey, cool, no problem, and take off. It's a really, really popular channel on YouTube right now is Moto Madness, and I've even seen some people on Moto Madness that I watch on their regular channels. And basically, it's a channel where it shows you know, different confrontations with cops, motorcycle accidents, people who are angry with bikers. And here's the really funny thing about that. I don't want to get off topic, but the funny thing about the ones that are mostly about people who are angry with bikers, it's one of two things. It's either somebody who does not understand that lane splitting is legal where they live, and they get pissed because they feel like they're getting cut off by a motorcycle, or B, it's a motorcycle who's coming up to some kind of intersection or road that's coming out, and when somebody pulls out in front of them, or they see them start to roll, they don't just keep going, they do this, and then they go, and then they yell and they scream and they do this. And the funny part is in most cases, if they didn't hit the damn throttle, if they went like this instead, yeah, letting off the throttle, and in most cases, I'm saying, not all, by the way, but in most cases, if they just let off the throttle, shake their head, maybe calmly when they get up next to somebody, go, hey, did you see me? Then it's not going to be that big of a deal. But what they end up doing is they flip the bird, they gun it, they cut them off, they start riding in front of them, turning around, looking at them, giving them more birds, get up to a stoplight and flip their visor off, F-bombing and GDing and blah, 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 and you stupid motherfucker, blah, blah, blah. And it's just, to tell you the truth, dude, go see a psychiatrist because you got anger issues if you're doing that. I can't tell you how many times I've had the exact same shit happen to me riding out of here on a motorcycle. And at most, I might just kind of go, hey, whoa, what's up? Did you see me? And then if they start getting all angry and flipping me the bird or acting like I did something wrong, I just drop it. Because let me tell you something. You're more likely to end up getting yourself hurt by causing somebody to get pissed off and start chasing you, or acting like an idiot and swerving at you, which, by the way, go watch some Moto Madness if you haven't already. Plenty of them do that. Than you were when they pulled out in front of you or whatever it was that you were pissed off about. The third most popular thing on there that seems to be an issue, and it's mostly over in England, it looks like, places like that, where lane splitting, they call it filtering over there, same thing. But what they do, or what one of their favorite things to do is as they're lane filtering, they're looking in the cars next to them. And as soon as they see somebody sitting still on their phone, they stop and stare at them. And it's super creepy. Even watching it on video, I'm going, this guy's a creep just sitting there staring at this woman. And most of the time it's a lady. And I'm not picking on women, I'm just saying, most of the time when they're sitting there staring at them, it's a woman that's sitting there on her phone. But it's the creepiest damn thing ever. And I'll be honest, if I'm sitting at a stoplight, and yeah, they shouldn't be on their phone, I'll admit that. But if I'm sitting there at a stoplight for whatever reason, and I picked up my phone, and then some guy in a full face helmet, full motorcycle gear, I don't know who it is, never seen them in my life, I look over and all of a sudden they're just staring at me, I'm going to be a little defensive as well. I'm going to wonder if this motherfucker is getting ready to try to rob me or steal my vehicle, or what the hell's going on? Why are you standing there staring at me? And sometimes they don't even say anything to them, so that's even more creepy. Most of them, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. Once they see the person look at them, they'll lift their shield up and they'll tell them, put your phone down. So at least then they have a reason, and maybe they can take a breath and relax. But that starts a bunch of arguments and fights too. It's just pointless, guys, I guess is what I'm getting at. I understand the frustration. None of us want to get run over out here, but I mean, unfortunately in our world, until they decide to take advantage of the technology available to us and say, hey, guess what, as soon as your phone enters your car, you lose service. It don't work. The only thing that'll work is your Bluetooth or whatever, and so that maybe you can, because a lot of people use it to play their music, so maybe somehow they're able to enable it to do the Bluetooth, but as far as texting and calls, it just shuts it down. Then until they do that, people are going to continue to have their phones in their hands. And I don't like it any more than the next guy, but it's going to happen. And pulling up next to them and knocking on windows and riding along next to them going, put the phone down, it ain't going to help you. More than anything, it's probably going to get you into an argument or a chase, or swerving at you or flipping you off, and then you're mad. And it's just, you're going to cause more problems than you're going to fix by trying to tell people to stop, to be perfectly honest about it. You know, now, I tell you, the most aggravating part about that story, or that situation, not story, is that, you know, all these states and cities, you know, put laws into effect about, you know, texting and driving is illegal, you know, that you're supposed to be pulled over and given a ticket if you have your phone in your hand while you're driving, all these different things, and none of them enforce it, not a single one. As a matter of fact, more often than not, if you drive past any cop on the road, you can pretty much look and see them probably messing with their own phones. So, I mean, that is frustrating that there's laws out there to stop it, but nobody really bothers to enforce it. And that's why people do what I'm talking about. They start trying to enforce it themselves. You know, they start going up to them and trying to tell them to stop, which does them no good, but that's what they do. Let's see, here we go. This guy's going to pull out in front of me. Instead of gunning it, I'm letting off and I'm gearing down. Now, this should have never happened. There wasn't enough room for him to pull out in front of me. As always, the camera makes them look a lot further away than they were, because typically we're using wide angle. But for me right now to pull up next to this guy in this big ass truck and make a scene about him pulled out in front of me, it's gonna do me or them no good whatsoever. So anyway, guys, I'm stuck behind this truck at this point. He's doing the speed limit. I'm not going to get too worried about it. Just cruising through the small town of Morgantown at this point, so it has slowed down a little bit. I think what I'm going to do is go ahead and end the video for the day. Again, if you like what you see, subscribe. If you didn't like what you see, cool, you don't have to subscribe. If you did like what you see and you subscribe, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button as well. It really does me a lot of good. It helps me out, lets me and YouTube know that you enjoy the content, and helps me get it out to more people, and I really greatly appreciate it. Until next time, keep the rubber side down and the shiny side up, and just get out and enjoy life on a motorcycle. We'll see you next time.